How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. So in today's video, we got a new car on the channel. Well, not really a new car, just a car I haven't really done a video on yet. But we're doing some work on the Plymouth today. As you can see, I got the hood scoops out as well as the front grille. I had to take the headlight buckets off in order to get the grille out. But the reason why I did that is because I got the hood scoops sandblasted. I still have to use a wipe and wipe them down to get the silica dust off, but I'm gonna repaint them black because they were black to begin with, but they were starting to flake off and the paint was looking bad. And the grille, because there's a few areas where this piece is missing, and I was going to cut out a piece to fix it out of this plexiglass. And I'm just going to respray the whole thing black, as well as a few cracks, like right there. And then there's another one there, and right there. There's just a few cracks that I want to glue up and reseal it, and you know, remake it strong again. So I'm gonna get to work. I actually already got templates drawn out. I just used a piece of paper, and as you can see, that'll just go right down in there, and then I'll transfer this template to the plexiglass, and then I'll cut it out, glue it in, and then repaint it all black once it dries. So I'm gonna get to work and knock this stuff out. As you guys can see, I got the 3 pieces cut out roughly, but I'm going to use a Dremel and cut them down to shape. That way I can get the angles right and go along it. And that was just an old piece of plexiglass I had, nothing too important. It was going to get thrown away anyway, so at least I got some good use out of it. So I got the first piece done, came out pretty good. And how I got that radius was I took a spray paint can and wrapped a piece of sandpaper around it, and then I was able to just sand it down because the radius of the can matched the radius of the piece that I needed. So I just kept sanding that down until it matched up. And it fit into place perfectly. Needs touched up a little bit, but I can just hand sand that down. Overall, got it to match up pretty good. And then once I paint it, you won't even be able to tell that it was replaced or even broken in the first place. And then the other 2 pieces that I have to do, I still have to groove them out because the part that's marked with the Sharpie is supposed to be open. It's to replicate these parts right here because there was supposed to be one here and here, but they broke off. And those actually hold on this aluminum trim piece. It slides in there like this. Just gives some additional support to that aluminum trim piece, so I wanted to refabricate these and then get them glued back onto the grill. Well guys, after a few hours of sanding and gluing, I finally got all the parts set up into the grill. The curve on that corner piece came out really good. It's really smooth, happy with that. And I also got the 2 little curved angle pieces onto the bottom of the grill where it holds that trim piece. So now, ready to paint. I had a few days of really crappy weather, so I was unable to paint. So today's the day where I'm gonna knock everything out. I also got the hood scoops prepped up right there, and I got the 2 little inserts hanging in the tree right here. They aren't the original inserts, but they just screw into those holes right there. And I've been looking for a set of original ones, but for now those will work. They were on the car when I bought it, and I'm getting ready to knock out all this work right now, so I'm gonna get to spraying and I'll catch up with you guys when I'm done. This is just a better look at that part that I made and glued in. And once that's painted, you won't even be able to tell that it was broken and replaced in the first place, because compared to this one, they match up pretty good, especially with the other side. Like this. Same with these. I just wanted to give you guys a better look at them. Really happy with how they came out.
Later.
Well guys, it's actually been a few weeks between the last clip I filmed and this one, and it's because I was doing a lot of work on my hood scoops, and it was probably one of the most tedious things I've ever done to a car part, and it just felt like a big arts and crafts project. And let me show you why real quick. As you guys remember, I painted these inserts, and honestly I didn't really like the look of them, especially with these screws on the face, and they just look really bunk and I don't like them. So I fabricated these, I cut them out of stainless steel and used some pinstripers tape, taped them up and painted those black lines on there, and I think those look really good, especially when they're on the car. These black lines look like they're actual functional scoops. And how they attach is I welded on two little studs on the back, and then those nuts just thread on from the back through the holes, like right here. They just push through and thread them on. And I also got some new gaskets. This center part comes out. I can show you on this one. I already got the gasket on because the old ones were all dry rotted, brittle, cracking and falling apart. They were actually broken. So I'm getting ready to throw on this last piece, and then we can throw the scoops on the car. But the most tedious thing was dealing with these broken studs on here. As you can see, this is a factory one, but I JB welded these new threaded studs I made on here just to give it some more support when they're on the car. And then you just put a little nut on there, and then it holds it on the place a lot better. So hopefully those hold up well. And once I used the JB weld on these studs that I put on here, and after it dried, I had to use the Dremel to kind of clean up the area around them because they wouldn't fit through the holes on the hood. So luckily I got everything to size that I needed, and now everything fits up, sits flat on the hood, and hopefully they hold up good. I think they will. And hopefully it was worth all the time and hassle it was to get those on there, because it was a bit of a headache, but I think it was worth it. I didn't film any of that just because it took hours. Like it doesn't really look like much, but the amount of time I have invested in that it's pretty crazy. So I'm very excited how they came out. It looks really clean, looks really good, and I'm excited to throw them on the car. So just go to get this last insert put into this scoop, and then we can throw them on the car. Well guys, I got some good news and some bad news in regards to the hood scoops and the grill. The good news is it looks absolutely amazing with the fresh coat of paint on there, everything all freshened up, especially with these custom inserts I made. I think they look awesome. But unfortunately, the bad news is all the hours I spent in making the studs I put on have fell off. And honestly, in my opinion, I think it is the biggest waste of time I have ever spent on a car restoration project, or car restoration detail, whatever you want to call it. Got a few hours into it and kind of pained me a little bit to see it all fall apart, but what are you gonna do, right? I'd rather it fall apart now than later on down the road, and I figured out that it wouldn't have worked out anyway. So I'm glad that it happened now instead of later on. Live and learn, right? You know what works and you learn what doesn't, and then you just build your knowledge from there and move on. I guess that's where the motto comes in, right? Always accelerate and don't look back. You got to reflect back on what doesn't work, but then take that knowledge with you and move forward and figure out what does work. I know it sounds like I'm rambling on and on, but just wanted to conclude the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit different than usual, but putting out some new content for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and like if you haven't already, and be sure to follow our Instagram. I'll leave the tag down below, and I guess I'll just catch you guys in the next video. And again, always accelerate and don't look back. See you in the next one.